Bron Breakker walks out on Paul Heyman, the best and worst of WWE Raw. Roman Reigns chooses his WrestleMania 42 opponent. A major wrestler has been arrested for domestic abuse. Plans for Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia is getting canceled. LA Knight is the Unchosen. And much, much more. Let's start off with the best and worst of WWE Raw. The Royal Rumble Fallout episode of WWE Raw was epic. Roman Reigns chose CM Punk because he hates him. Their promos were gold. He said he has always hated CM Punk. He predicts the straight-edge superstar will acknowledge him at WrestleMania 42. Gunther mocked AJ Styles by coming out to his theme. Liv Morgan didn't officially make her decision. Well, we already know for sure who she is facing at Mania. Also, Femi squashed the Raiders. Where was Brock Lesnar? Well, here is the best and worst of WWE Raw this week. Number 1, the best. Breakker suspects Austin Theory. Bron Breakker came out and immediately flipped the announcer's desk over. For some context, Breakker came out at number 2 at the Royal Rumble, something that was a bit of a pain point for Paul Heyman and the Vision. While he looked set for a dream clash against Femi, he was taken out during the entrance by a mystery attacker, who sent him into the ring so Femi could eliminate him in seconds. He blamed Adam Pearce for sending the attacker, and Paul Heyman concurred by stating that the attacker's visa to Saudi Arabia had to be approved. The rest of the Vision tried to calm Breakker down, although he was having none of it. Adam Pearce was called out, and he scoffed at the idea of him knowing who the mystery attacker was. Naturally, security was ordered by Pearce, but as Breakker was approaching him, LA Knight's music hit. While Bron Breakker anticipated the returning LA Knight to get him from the front, he actually came from behind and took out Logan Paul and Austin Theory with a steel chair. He would then escape before Bronson Reed could get a hold of him, and it was clear that Knight got a semblance of revenge for all that the Vision had put him through. According to Adam Pearce, he was seemingly doing Breakker a favor by allowing him to have a job in the WWE. In all of that chaos, there was a moment Adam Pearce mentioned the last time he saw a dark hooded figure. It was Austin Theory, and Breakker turned to seemingly confront Theory before the Vision turned to stop him from making any stupid decision. Number 2, the worst. Why didn't Rey Mysterio come out with Penta? Rey Mysterio might have suffered a minor injury against the Vision last week, but he still competed in the Royal Rumble. When it came time for Penta's match with Bronson Reed, it would have made sense for Rey to accompany his ally. The Vision came out with Reed and predictably tried to interfere. Dragon Lee was attacked by Gunther earlier on Raw, so he wasn't available. Instead of having one of his main allies come out for the match, it was LA Knight who backed him up. It furthered the story of Knight going after the Vision, but made no sense as to why Rey didn't come out or aid his friend. Number 3, the best. Gunther is the definition of a heel. Gunther's first feud after retiring AJ Styles has officially been confirmed, and it just so happens to be the Phenomenal One's tag team partner. It should come as no surprise to you that Gunther not only came out to AJ Styles' music and had a big graphic on the Titantron calling him the career killer. It's a moniker that he has been proud of carrying, and he now added Styles to the list of careers he ended after Goldberg and John Cena, the latter of whom was retiring anyway. Man, Gunther has become a full-blown heel. Dragon Lee should have stayed backstage as his night end with a rear naked choke as he was taken out. It looked like he would get out and get the better of the career killer, but that didn't happen. Number 4, the worst. Jey Uso's mic cut off by WWE during Raw. Any sane person is tired of yeeting, but cutting off Jey Uso's mic? Jimmy and Jey Uso made their way out in the crowd. They were part of the audience and were shouting into the camera in front of them as the broadcast cut to them from after the match Javon Evans had. Jey and Jimmy were making their way out to greet the fans and even address the fact that Roman Reigns won the Royal Rumble and will be the one to challenge for the title of his choice at WrestleMania. Before they can do that, though, when the broadcast cut to them and Jey was shouting into the camera, the audio was cut off. No one could hear what they were saying at first. When they went out to the crowd, Jey Uso was shouting into his mic, but again, no one could hear him. Jimmy Uso took over and began speaking about Roman Reigns and everything else. This might not be an actual worst, because in all honesty, we all used to like Jey Uso and his yeet gimmick, but the whole run it back thing feels forced and distracting now. When he does it in big matches like War Games and the Royal Rumble, like last night, it takes the spotlight away from the match. Still can't get over the fact that Brock Lesnar got eliminated during a yeet session. Speaking of Brock Lesnar, number 5, the best. Femi is booked like Brock Lesnar. The War Raiders haven't been used much lately, so it was good to see them back in the ring on Raw. However, they were mere fodder for Femi. Beating them up takes away all of their credibility. They're former World Tag Team Champions. The spot could have easily been done with the Creeds, who are just as big. They're still finding their spot on the main roster, and don't have the built-up cash of Eric and Ivar. Despite their waste, it was amazing to see just how much faith the creative team has in Femi, especially under Triple H, who has made a name for himself as the guy that wastes good naturally over stars. Number 6. The worst. Bree's return turns Nikki face. And Dom just came back to announce Liv? Nikki Bella was last seen as an arrogant heel trying to get another shot at Women's World Champion Stephanie Baker. Her twin, Brie Bella, returned during the Rumble. The Bellas then cut a face promo on Raw about their intentions to win the WWE Women's Tag Team titles because they were the original tag team in the women's division. So are they both heroes because of Brie's return? Another thing that didn't make any sense, Dirty Dom actually showed up for the first time in almost 2 months. Did he finally make his first title defense? No, he didn't. He simply came out with his shiny belts to announce Liv Morgan as the 2026 Royal Rumble winner. It was a heel moment, but again, he's one of your champions and hasn't done anything with the belt. Adam Pearce didn't seem to care about the title either. He hasn't seriously addressed it for 2 months or when the actual champion was on Raw. At this point, the title is a joke. Roman Reigns chooses his WrestleMania 42 opponent. I'm picking you because I hate you. The words spoken by Roman Reigns as he made his WrestleMania 42 main event match official, choosing a superstar with whom he recently crossed paths. This week on Raw, the final segment of the night saw the OTC one, Roman Reigns, come out in the aftermath of the 2026 Royal Rumble, where he became a 2-time winner. With a 2-figure number of WrestleMania main events, Reigns will now be far and away in a category of his own as he headlines the grandest stage of them all for the 6th year in a row. It remains unclear whether that will be on Saturday or Sunday. Either way, he was confronted by World Heavyweight Champion CM Punk, who seemingly wanted Roman Reigns to pick him. The OTC dismissed the best in the world, despite them being on decent terms after Survivor Series War Games last year. However, Punk seemingly rage-baited Reigns into picking him at WrestleMania, and it is now official. Punk vs. Reigns is the WrestleMania 42 main event. During the exchange, Reigns mocked Punk for talking badly about WWE Champion Drew McIntyre, commenting that he was double his size. Punk noted that despite the size difference, he beat Drew McIntyre inside Hell in a Cell. Either way, the match is official, and there is no love between the two top superstars. It will be the best in the world versus the Tribal Chief, of course, assuming that Finn Balor doesn't hijack everything and become the World Heavyweight Champion, as he is targeting Punk himself following Adam Pearce declining his entry into the Men's Royal Rumble match. It's shaping up to be a very interesting road to WrestleMania 42 in Las Vegas. A major wrestler has been arrested for domestic abuse. As per a report, CMLL wrestler El Pagaso was charged with domestic violence toward his family and arrested on Friday. The Cubs fan originally reported about it. The report also noted a restraining order against him. The criminal complaint first surfaced. A major wrestler has been arrested for domestic abuse. As per a report, CMLL wrestler El Pagaso was charged with domestic violence toward his family and arrested on Friday. The Cubs fan originally reported about it. The report also noted a restraining order against him. The criminal complaint first surfaced in November of 2025, but the incident allegedly occurred in 2024. The case has progressed through the court slowly, and he was arrested last Friday. The victim is Pagaso's son from a previous relationship, who was allegedly left injured by the incident and almost lost an eye, and was put in a wheelchair for a significant amount of time. The victim and his mother claimed that Pagaso made death threats towards them earlier, which is the reason for the restraining order. Pagaso himself has not spoken up on the incident. Pagaso Jr., his son but not the one involved in this story, has reposted messages on social media saying the story is false. Friends of Pagaso have also supported the wrestler's character, saying he is a great man, but have not explained how or why the teenager was put in a wheelchair. The report stated that there was a dispute underneath all this about the amount of child support that Pagaso is paying, and apparently, the plans for Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. In the past 6 months, many WWE legends have hung up their wrestling boots and retired from in-ring competition. The list includes Goldberg, John Cena, and AJ Styles. Fans are now speculating whether they will witness more veterans ride off into the sunset in 2026. Meanwhile, there have been rumors of Brock Lesnar's retirement. Previously, Cena said Lesnar could have his last match at SummerSlam 2026. However, the WWE icon has yet to address the subject. On Fightful Select's Q&A podcast, a fan questioned whether the company had anything major planned for Brock Lesnar this year at SummerSlam, given that it will take place in the Beast Incarnate's home state, Minnesota. In response, Sean Ross Sapp said there was an assumption within World Wrestling Entertainment that the former UFC champion would be booked for the biggest party of the summer. However, he wasn't sure if the Stamford-based promotion was considering a retirement angle for Lesnar at the event. Before this past Saturday, the former WWE champion had been away from the sports entertainment juggernaut since last year's Survivor Series War Games. He participated in his first ever War Games bout at the event as part of Team Vision. The Beast Incarnate returned to the Stamford-based promotion this past weekend at the Royal Rumble 2026 Premium Live event in the Men's Royal Rumble bout. He was shockingly eliminated by LA Knight and Cody Rhodes. Hence, his plans of punching his ticket to WrestleMania 42 fell apart. Currently, there is no official confirmation on when fans will see the former world champion back in the squared circle again. That said, it will be interesting to see what plans Triple H and the WWE creative team have in store for the Beast Incarnate as the Stamford-based promotion is gearing up for its next major PLES, Elimination Chamber 2026 and WrestleMania 42. Next up, NJPW star is leaving after over 15 years. A major name who has been with New Japan Pro Wrestling, NJPW, for over 15 years has officially left the company and will be finishing up in a little over a week, as per an official announcement. That name is none other than Hiromu Takahashi, who has been a mainstay of NJPW for a long time now. He is mostly known for his time as a member of Los Ingobernables de Japón, the faction that was led by Tetsuya Naito, with a past connection to Andrade or Andrade El Idolo as he is known in AEW. Hiromu Takahashi joined the promotion in his early 20s and has been a big name for the company, primarily dominating the junior division. However, it appeared as though there were no plans for him to move up to the heavyweight division, and he won the famed Best of Super Juniors BOSJ tournament thrice in a row between 2020 and 2022, as well as having his inaugural win in 2018. The IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship was the defining title of his career. NJPW announced that the 36-year-old star will be leaving the promotion after 15 years and that his final appearance will be at the New Beginning in Osaka on February 11th. It seems like it's going to be a new era for the top Japanese company, while there will continue to be speculation that Takahashi will be America-bound, whether it's AEW or WWE or anywhere else. Another major name who is seemingly WWE-bound is Evil, who is a former IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. While Takahashi didn't experience heavyweight-level success, the fact is that he belongs to an era now gone by. With Kazuchika Okada gone for a while now and Hiroshi Tanahashi retiring, it looks like the company will be building on their stars of tomorrow. WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia is getting cancelled. Becky Lynch did not have the best time at the Royal Rumble. After teaming up with Natalya to eliminate Maxine Dupree, things turned around on her when she tried to eliminate Natty. Unfortunately for her, Natty was not having it and stopped herself falling, before she went on to push the star out of the ring, eliminating her instead. Lynch has since claimed that only her shoes touched the outside of the ring and not her feet. She went on to claim that again, on the ride back to the backstage area. She said that her boots had high lifts in them, and they touched the outside of the ring and not her feet. She was very upset with how things had happened in Saudi Arabia for her, with her losing the chance to win the Women's Royal Rumble. She said that with this being the situation, if this sort of corruption continued, then she'd have no choice but to make sure that the WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia was canceled. She was going to ensure that this happened. And by the way, maybe my boots at one stage when I went to stand up, maybe then my boots touched the ground, but I have quite high lifts in them. So my feet never actually touched the ground. This is a travesty. If this corruption continues, I will have no other choice than to make sure WrestleMania is canceled in Saudi Arabia. Next year's event is set to take place in Saudi Arabia, and with these sort of threats, Lynch may not find herself in high standing at it. However, she does not really have the power to cancel WrestleMania, although she did miss Raw to talk to lawyers. LA Knight is the unchosen. LA Knight fans went through a gamut of emotions at WWE Royal Rumble 2026 last Saturday, where he participated in the Men's Rumble match. Following the event, the company has launched a new t-shirt featuring the megastar and termed him Unchosen. The former US champion made a surprise return in the Rumble match after spending a few weeks away from the spotlight. As expected, he received a thunderous ovation and a hero's welcome from the rabid Riyadh crowd. The Raw superstar immediately made a big impact by taking out the Vision's Bronson Reed and Austin Theory from the match. While this raised expectations for Knight having a memorable night and potentially even winning the Rumble altogether, those hopes were dashed when Cody Rhodes eliminated him. Amid this, WWE has launched a brand new LA Knight t-shirt on its website. The global juggernaut also handed Knight a new name by terming him Unchosen. Though Knight's fans are understandably disappointed over his failure to win the Rumble last week, it looks like WWE has concrete plans for him going forward. The former U.S. champion showed up during the opening segment and laid out both Austin Theory and Logan Paul with vicious chair shots as Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker looked on. If this wasn't enough, LA Knight also played spoilsport in Reed's scheduled match against Penta later in the night. Just when it looked like the Vision was closing in on the win, Knight popped up and took Reed out with a BFT on the outside. This was followed by the referee counting him out and thus declaring Penta as the winner. Going by these events, it's safe to say the megastar and the Vision's feud would only get more heated and potentially stretch until WrestleMania 42 and beyond. Raquel Rodriguez makes a request to Liv Morgan. Raquel Rodriguez entered Raw as the #1 contender for the Women's World Championship, while Liv Morgan became the only female star in WWE to secure her spot at WrestleMania 42. Rodriguez would make a rather shocking request to her best friend. For some context, Liv Morgan won the Royal Rumble in 2026, and one of the women she eliminated to get there was Raquel Rodriguez. While it's known by everybody that the Royal Rumble is every man/woman for themselves, it was the way in which Morgan did it that seemed very sneaky and opportunistic, which is perhaps why there were questions about the nature of their friendship. On Raw this week, Raquel Rodriguez asked Liv Morgan why she had eliminated her, and Morgan said that it wasn't like that, and that a win for any Judgment Day member was a win for the faction overall. In response, Raquel Rodriguez specifically told Morgan to stay in the back for her match against Stephanie Vaquer, which was happening right then and there. Morgan was visibly shocked, as was everybody watching the promo. Normally, Raquel Rodriguez wouldn't hesitate to ask for help from Morgan or Roxanne Perez, but this time around, she wanted to go at it alone. Unfortunately for her, Stephanie Vaquer is the equivalent of Batista 2005, Roman Reigns in the 2000s, and other stars who felt like they were virtually untouchable. Vaquer is at the top of her game right now, and there seems to be nobody in the immediate future who could dethrone her. If she keeps up this momentum for a little over a month, then she is guaranteed to go into WrestleMania 42 as the reigning Women's World Champion. As for Morgan, she has yet to make her decision in terms of who she wants to face at WrestleMania. Bron Breakker walks out on Paul Heyman. At the Royal Rumble, everything that could have gone wrong with Breakker did. While there is a belief right now that the attacker is Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman and Breakker were both upset about the situation. However, on Raw, things went worse. Due to the tensions between Adam Pearce and The Vision, people predicted that the person who attacked Bron Breakker could be the Raw general manager himself. After Pearce received a phone call from the senior authority, it felt that his power had been curbed against the villainous faction. Seeking vengeance for this, the authority figure might have donned the black hood and cost Breakker at the Royal Rumble. Meanwhile, it's important to note that Pearce is no longer actively working in the squared circle. Though the mystery attacker used a curb stomp to destroy Bron Breakker in Saudi Arabia, that doesn't prove it was Seth Rollins. A few months ago, the Visionary was betrayed by the Vision. Despite the unfinished business, Rollins is unlikely to be the mystery attacker at WWE Royal Rumble 2026. The Visionary was not physically present in Saudi Arabia during the Premium Live event. The WWE Universe also predicted that Logan Paul is the mystery attacker. Still, the YouTuber is unlikely to be the mystery attacker at the recent Premium Live event. The attacker appears to be shorter than Logan Paul. This directly rules him out as the WWE Mystery Man. However, there is a possibility that he might have sent his real-life brother, Jake Paul, for this purpose. In a newly released video with unseen footage, Breakker is seen driving away backstage sometime after the attack. The conversation between him and Heyman went as follows. Paul Heyman insisted that the star was Seth Rollins, while Bron Breakker did not believe it had happened and said the star had surgery just a month earlier. Paul Heyman: that was Seth Rollins. I am telling you that was Seth Rollins. Bron Breakker: where did he come from? Paul Heyman: from his mother's womb, I don't know. That was Seth Rollins, I cannot believe it. Bron Breakker: he had surgery just a month ago, dude. How the hell is he here? It's not yet confirmed whether the star is Seth Rollins, but while that is a possibility, some fans have another theory. Austin Theory. On Raw, Breakker spoke to Paul Heyman, disgusted about the situation, and asked, "What are we doing?" before walking out on him. Soon after, Heyman escorted him to the door, where Breakker also walked out of WWE Raw, having had enough, screaming, "I do not care,"